Voice of Indonesia.
Voice of Indonesia from Indonesia to the world listener. The world is, well, people said the world is getting quote unquote older with a lot of challenges, but there are also solutions created by so many people. One of them is the renewable energy, which sounds so nice, right? But apparently, how can renewable energy really renew our life? Today, we'll be talking about this with the earth scientist at St. Petersburg State University, Gerry Utama. Hello, Gerry.
Hi, Steve.
Okay, Gerry, if we are talking...
Good afternoon in Jakarta.
Yeah, good afternoon too. I'm too excited for this talk anyway. So talking about the renewable energy, we know that we got the definition, we see it everywhere on the news, campuses, and the campaign about this is so massive. But I would like to know, why do a lot of people still find it hard to fully accept renewable energy?
Yes, you have to understand that situation is really hard right now to understand that renewable energy is really hard to accept by people right now, because the first that you have to understand the cost that using renewable energy need much more money investment, and people doesn't want to put so much money and doing investment, even this long-term investment. Right now what situation, the first thing, the price. The renewable energy need much more cost. Maybe like 10 years ago, it's quite more expensive. Now, they have become going cheaper because the technology developed so easily right now. Every country offering the cheap technology to build the renewable energy. That's the case, the first one, why the people doesn't accept the situation to use the renewable energy, and they still using like a fossil fuel energy, like not really traditional, but fossil fuel energy, I would say that.
Okay, so fossil fuel is still quote unquote the most affordable.
It's still the first important, yes.
Yeah. So about affordability for not only the government, the business people, but also the people in the grassroots. Is it really the matter?
Yeah, it's happened many times that we try to push people to using renewable energy, but still the situation, the first that the cost, and somehow we have to understand that the infrastructure that support renewable energy still not so many like in Jakarta, like that's happened many times. Right now you can see many things that's available everywhere for charging, for using technology. And the first one, economy, and the second one is always we talk about the infrastructure that support renewable energy.
Okay, so the infrastructure that supports this renewable energy, which people say that to support something, sometimes the supporter is not really eco-friendly, it's not really renewable. For example, the EV, right? People said that the production for the battery is still using coal. So can we say if we are using EV, we are really using renewable energy then?
It's quite like, I don't say like there's really pure renewable energy, but in somehow that situation that make us to understand right now, we use a resource, we extract the mining resource, which is using for EV is nickel. It's quite famous. Like Indonesia is the first country that export nickel. And they actually, if you study about the geology situation, and they are only in subsurface, not deep area that deep to extract the nickel. So actually, it's like fish to fish. You can say like somehow we use renewable energy, but how do you get it, the material is not renewable way. Yes. So based on the situation that it's happening right now, for me, like it's quite a dilemma for us.
Yeah, but at least we are still one step forward. Instead of 100% using this not sustainable, not renewable energy, we are moving on to the next one. Although, well, like you said, to make the renewable, to make this, we're still using the not sustainable, not renewable way. But then again, to make sure that everybody support this, what is the main benefit that people at the grassroots level can feel? Should we? Well, let's imagine that. Imagine if everybody has been using the renewable energy. What is the main benefit that we can feel?
We support to reduce the temperature, the global temperature. Actually, even as we were so massively population that use renewable energy that it can be like supported to reduce global temperature. But actually, it's more efficient that's using renewable energy I several times coming to Jakarta and I get interview right now. A lot of technology using EV technology for a car, bike sharing like this. It's something like a shock. When I come back to Jakarta 3 years ago, I was still in Russia, and Russia had already initiated using renewable energy by electric EV technology. But it's really like people start, and somehow they say it's really more efficient for cost, and they realize they say we are very late to invest in renewable energy for everything, and they realize it's quite cheap using the renewable energy. Now the benefit they accept the benefit right now, and it can be pushed the cost how much they spend for money to use it for using energy only. But it's the globally we are support to reduce the global temperature. Right now it's quite somehow in tropical countries like quite hotter right now situation. And you feel that, Steve, in Jakarta right now.
Yeah, that's why people, it's not anymore. It's not global warming anymore. It's been global boiling right now. It's been so hot. So, well, let's reduce the temperature.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, yeah. So apparently using renewable energy is like getting an air conditioner remote on your hands and then reducing the temperature. So one of the main benefits is to reduce the temperature itself. And then we in the beginning we've talked about the investment and so on and so on. But as a scientist yourselves too, I would like to know, what is the main challenge, the main real challenge that maybe we haven't heard even on the news related to the EV?
Technology.
Yeah. And
And
not only EV, but also renewable energy. I'm sorry about it.
yeah, we talk about renewable energy, and it costs much more efficient and technology, and that's quite expensive.
Mhm.
And now we have to face the challenge right in a situation. The renewable energy is really like we have to change right now. It's like one of the mandatory of the government to support, because the impactful of the situation is not the tropical country getting the worst impact because of the climate change. And you didn't know that if the renewable energy it needs much more cost actually, and the situation right now they're not really support, or somehow when we build technology, they are really inefficient somehow, because our country like archipelagos country that make us is really hard to put it to build infrastructure. It's still everything is talking about cost, the cost, how much do we spend it? But now we make innovate people innovating and using the technology to make quite efficient for giving affordability for people to using the renewable to get access to your renewable energy. Like for wind energy right now, wind energy we use the wind energy right now, and it's right now it's accessible. It can be accessible because they built the model for the renewable energy, quite simple model, and can be accessed by people in the outermost island in Indonesia right now. But the challenge still, we still need infrastructure. And then we have to more innovating to propose that using renewable energy can be getting access by universal access by people in Indonesia.
Because energy is the right for everybody, not only the people in big cities, but also our friends in the outermost places. They also need that. Well,
Yeah, yeah,
nice, nice.
it's
Yeah.
right. That's why the energy is not only mandatory. It's not, but it's also like the right, and people have to get access, and it's mandatory. It must be. They have to energy, but you have to understand that our country is archipelago country. We have more than 70,000 islands, and you have how do you redistribute and giving access for energy more larger to the people in Indonesia. That's the challenge right now. But you have to understand that it's a cost, but it's really giving impactful, efficient economy for the people.
Okay, so the cost may seem big right now, but if we are looking at the long-term result, it will be worth it, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I say. In Russia, we say that we have like saying like this. It's like with the first step you get failed, but after that everything become easy and become good right now. That's in Russia. We say that.
Okay, so it will worth it if we want to do it. And then Let's talk about the potential that we have in Indonesia. We are archipelago
Uh-huh.
country. You can imagine the power of the sea waves and also the wind,
Uh-huh.
etc. How big do you see the real potential of our renewable energy?
Okay, but you have to really, it's really big potential actually when we talk about Indonesia access to using renewable energy because we are the archipelago country. We have ocean, we have two ocean, and really increasing. He's really powerful and getting like benefit for the it can be activate energy much larger, much bigger. That's by using our ocean, and wind also is really quite fast, and it's really using our potential in the renewable. We have played the games Indonesia for the ASEAN country, and also when we start to innovating for example, like we try to using nuclear power. Right now, our government like try to initiate using nuclear power is really good idea because it can be make our using energy more efficient because they using just using power plant, one reactor, they can access redistribute for all the people and quite cheaper actually. In the cost. The first cost is that you it's quite expensive, but and then after that everything become like it's accessible. You need just build a power plant, one reactor, and they can using for all the island, maybe one on one province in Indonesia.
That's nice, right? Nuclear power
Yeah,
plant. So it's also included in the renewable energy
and
too.
also we have like the heat source from the volcano, and it can be like using like for based on the our Earth's power heat, and we can using like geothermal. We say that, and
Yep.
we have more. It's a potential more. Like we have 129 volcanoes in Indonesia, and it's active volcano. It's all the from island, from Sumatra, Java, and also Sulawesi and Maluku. They are more potential about the geothermal energy, except in Kalimantan and also in Papua, because they don't have any volcanoes right now. But yes, for sure. But the main island mostly they can be accessible for geothermal energy. Actually, we have all everything. We are the intensity of the sun intensity is quite bigger, and it's really potential that we can propose that using this one of the renewable energy. We have everything, Steph. We need how to we elaborate how we build the infrastructure that support that. Indonesia is ready to use renewable energy based on their potential.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. I'm imagining the Indonesian map now and I'm looking at imagining this map and how big the potential that we can probably use. But as we know that nowadays Indonesian people usually depended our electricity power from certain company, the PLN, something like that. Do you have any suggestion for everybody, for the grassroots people, how to use the renewable energy that we might find around us, especially in remote areas?
Yeah, yeah. Situation is quite dilemma because yes, the electricity is controlled by one company in Indonesia, which is called it PLN. And I really optimize that situation right now. We can propose that we can support it for this like outermost island and faraway island like in Indonesia is far away from my island. They can build and support by using the government and give incentive that the situation is really hard that PLN can access the energy can they so they can build their power plant using renewable energy. One of the solution that I can offer it with the cheap price. And the first is that the government that support it, and maybe we can also push the people inside the island. We belongs to the potential things that they can build the renewable energy by themselves because I already mentioned that the technology is quite cheaper right now, so people can access using can give it access that they can get access to using the renewable energy with the cheap price.
And if we check on YouTube channels, there are so many YouTube channels, YouTube videos providing you how to build, for example, a small windmill, a small water power plant that can be useful for everyone. Okay, thank you very much, Gerry, for joining us in this talk. Apparently, there's still a lot of things to talk, and of course, a lot of
course.
homework for Indonesia to transition more into using the renewable energy. Okay, thank you very much, Gerry Utama.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, listener, that is Gerry Utama, a scientist at St. Petersburg State University. And apparently, as he said, that the access to renewable energy is very important. And nowadays, it gets cheaper and cheaper. But of course, we need also support from the investors and also the infrastructure to make sure that everybody get the access. And if you are listening to this and you got the access to that renewable energy, we recommend you to use that one to make sure that the planet will be cooler in the future. And of course, listener, you can listen to this talk again on our YouTube channel, VOI Official.
Voice of Indonesia.